What we have here is the blower motor out of the Dodge D100 heater system. The motor does not run, however it does turn. To get it apart will require removing this clip, and then once we have the blower fan out of the way, there are two screws in here which would have to be removed. With that, we should be able to open it up and determine what the problem might be. So we'll go ahead and get this started and see if we can keep it in the camera, as well as not throw parts all over the garage. Now the question is, will this slide off? And the answer to that is probably not. It is pretty well stuck in there. So we will take a break. I'll see if I can put some penetrant on it or something to try to loosen it up, and we'll try it again. Okay, I gave it a shot of penetrant, and it has moved. I'll give it a little bit more here and see if we can get it to come out all the way. It's free up to that point. You'll notice the hose is cut off. It is so hard that it feels like steel. It has no flexibility whatsoever. And rather than rip it up and tear it, I cut it and will seal it, although there's not really much need for it to be sealed when I put it back together. Right now, that worked. Set that aside. They're 3/8, they're not 5/16. And corrected, they're 11/16. maybe a little bit of air. I don't know if you can see all that has come in through this vent. The brushes look to be okay, but not sure about everything else. And note that 2 thin washers came off from the shaft here. So I've got to fire up the compressor, so we will be back. Alright, well, we got the air compressor charged up. Found a leak in my connector for the blower and put a new O-ring in it, so we'll clean this all up. And be done with that. So now the question is, why doesn't it work?
Okay. Dog?
What are we doing?
No, are you okay with your eyes about that?
Ow! Me, clamp, not me. Okay, so we'll put a power supply on it here. Volts, and it's not running. An old power supply. Let's make sure it actually works. Says it's putting out 13.3 volts. So, what's the issue here? We have brushes here and here. And the brushes are receiving the voltage. So I guess the next step, of course, would be that the brushes are either worn out or things are just corroded to the point. There's plenty of brush there, so it must be corrosion. Take a few more measurements here. Whoa. Okay. So when you I wonder if we have a short in the motor. Because when I touch the brushes with the voltmeter, that was 16 volts. And it's turning reluctantly. So it appears to be okay, there's the problem. The wire is separated from the brush. I don't know if the camera can see this or not. But the brush is there, and the wire that connects it is just behind it at the bottom. On the other side, you can clearly see there's a good connection between the brush and the wire. I do have some similar braid, which is used for taking solder off of circuit board joint connections. I think I will get some and see if I can solder it on. We'll be back. Well, we've moved. We're now on the electronics bench. And the soldering iron is heated up to 450 degrees. I also have an air blower which is capable of that kind of temperature and can, if needed, heat the parts to the point where they will accept solder. So let's see if we can get some solder on this. So we can connect a strap to it. And make it functional. Sorry if my head's in the way. just had cataract surgery, and viewing things up close is not easy. But I think I have a ball of solder there, which is okay. This is intended to suck up solder. That's its purpose in life. So we will give it some solder. And try to trim it to be soldered onto this piece. That is easy. Now the hard part may be figuring out this was crimped, it was not soldered. Which means it probably would, I don't know if I can. If I can scrape some surface here to accept solder, clean it. And it looks like that will be successful. Let's see if we can get this tinned. And we can. So, now we need to cut a loop. And try to solder it to this. I need to get a sponge. It had one. And we now have a flexible loop. That's 13.6 volts DC, so let's put that there. And the repair is successful, the motor is not. It appears appears that the motor has a short in it. That's a shame. That's why it burnt out the wire. Got jammed there, and let's see how much current it pulls when it's jammed. Pulling about 9.9 amps when it's jammed, which tells me that motor's no good. Alright, well, we tried. Okay, well, I looked at it a little bit more, trying to see if there was maybe something between the contacts on the rotor, and I don't see anything. So I guess we have a short in the windings, and I will have to begin to search for another motor. I have an old wrecking yard a couple miles from here, and they have Dodges back in this vintage and older. So I'm sure that if I go up there I can get one. So we'll try again later.